You're listening to Warrior Talk with Heather Thomas Van Daren and Brant Fricker. Get inspired. Be empowered. Warrior Talk.
Welcome, everybody, to Warrior Talk. Get inspired and be empowered. I'm Heather Thomas Van Daren, and of course, you know my co-host Brant Fricker. We've got another great show today, and we're really looking forward to spending this time with you. Let's talk about ADHD. What do you say?
What were you talking about? I was distracted. No, yeah, I think it's good. Let's do talk about it because a lot of people have been diagnosed with that or think that they have it. But we're going to talk about it. I really enjoyed the last week, the company we keep,
Yeah.
and how wise it is that yeah, if you make friends with stupid people, you'll be ruined.
You know what? You know what? Every time I hear that version of the scripture, I think of if you keep company with stupid people, you'll be stupid. That's what my mind hears.
Didn't Shania Twain have a song? Don't be stupid, And stupid is as stupid does. You from Forrest Gump there. Life's like a box of chocolates. And
Yeah.
anyway, but
Oh, God is good. Amen.
as people learn to keep their circles small, it is
Yeah.
important the company you keep, and some of you might be encouraged to keep company with like-minded people who have the same giftings
Hmm.
and I really think that ADHD is a superpower. I don't think it's a disease or a disorder. It's a superpower, but we'll get into that. But doesn't everybody know somebody, Heather, that is dealing with
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I is one.
it?
No,
Everybody knows somebody. Yeah.
I I really think I'm self-diagnosed and I'm not so much ADHD as I am ADD, but you and everybody does know somebody. Have you
Uh-huh.
ever had a friend with you and you're like, dude, man, chill out because
Yeah.
they're just like all over the place. My adopted grandson, we used to make um a game out of it because he would be bouncing off the walls and we'd go, I bet you can't run around the house 5 times.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Bet you
And he'd go,
can't.
oh, yes, I can. And there he'd go. And we'd like,
Well, yeah, I think you might be ADHD if you got more sleep. Yeah,
well, yeah,
I'm
that's
too
true.
tired to have the hyperactive thing. But well, you know
That's
what though,
awesome.
we really do have tools for you today, folks. Because
Oh, my
God made you
goodness.
that way. He made you that way, and yeah, you should be proud of who God made you to be. And
Yeah.
thankfully, someone we know just wrote a book about it. And
I just happen to have that right here.
hey. Well, you know what? People need to know you're not broken. You're brilliant. And that's what
Yeah.
I wanted to say. So hey, I wrote the book on ADHD. Now I can say that, right? But hey, yeah, jump
I
right into
have to
that.
s- I have to say though, Brent, really, I love your books. And not just because you're like my best friend, but
Uh-huh.
because they are really easy reads. And this is not an infomercial, just so you guys know today. It is not an infomercial.
I didn't ask
But
to do that one of this one, but yeah.
no, you didn't actually. This was all my idea because I believe in you, Brent. I do. And we can go back and revisit a little bit Red Pill Prophet. That's another book, the very first book that you wrote that I read, and it changed my life. Just that one little quote in there that said, "Your life has already been written." When you take that into consideration about how big God is and how perfect His plan is, it makes it easier just to accept the way your life is going and just live it out. But that was a side note. Your books are very easy to read. And especially for people like me, ADD, we need easy to read because we sometimes we're not parked in the same spot very long. And so this really is cool. And you've got the books on tape too, right?
They will be.
or
Yeah, they will
yeah,
be.
Kindle or what? How do you? I don't even know how you do that.
Right now, you can download from you can buy from Amazon ADHD Reset,
Hmm.
and you can get the ebook for Kindle, but or you can buy the print copy
Yeah,
too. Hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. Yes. Well, let's dig into it because, like you said, it's not really a disorder. It's the way you were wired. Um, you're no surprise to God. He created you just
Right.
exactly how he wanted you to be. And there's movers and shakers, and there's sitters and watchers.
Right.
And
Right.
we are movers and shakers. And I know that there's a lot of our audience out there that they're going, yep. It's okay to admit it. It's not bragging if it's true, right, Brent?
It's not bragging if it's true, and but we just have to make sure of a few things, tie up some loose ends, especially when we're telling jokes. I told Heather, told Heather a joke early on when meeting her through our friend, her cousin Ricky Ferris at GLC, and we were fast friends. And she was so great on TV. I thought, wow. And then I heard about what love means, but I made the joke saying, yeah, I'm God's autistic child. And I didn't finish the joke. I didn't explain it. So we had a later conversation, and she said, well, you are autistic. And I said, what? And I started laughing, and Heather reminded me, well, you did say that you were autistic, and I didn't clarify what I was meaning by I'm God's autistic child. Basically, hey, I'm open, and whatever you want me to do, I'm there, and I will go in 1,000%, and I'll know it, and so I said, well, no, no, Heather, I'm not autistic. And she goes, well, maybe you are. And it was just so.
What? No, wait. I have to let me qualify that. That was actually a compliment, Brant.
Oh, okay.
It was meant to be a compliment because I know for a fact
Well, it would be.
that
Elon Musk is autistic. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
bada bing, bada boom.
Bada boom. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, autistic people are actually very, very intelligent.
Oh yeah.
So,
Highly.
they're highly, I mean, like out in the stratosphere. And so you're saying that you're not, Brant, and I thought you were. I'm so disappointed.
Well, it was just funny. Of course, your cowgirl accent, just like when you say things like "check yourself or you wreck yourself." I just love it. But maybe you are. And it just caught me funny. It was so funny. But you know what
Yeah,
though? The reality is that whatever you've been labeled as, God labels you as brilliant. You're not broken. He made you
that's
great. He
right.
made you. And
Amen.
learn to play to your strengths. Um,
Mhm.
it can be great, but be sure and finish your jokes. And also, sometimes people, those of us who are creatives, I don't know what you think about this statement, Heather, but I would say that not all creatives have ADD or ADHD, but it might be safe to say that all ADHDs might be creatives. I don't know, because we're able to process things and do a multiplicity of things at the same time, and yet for me make them work together. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
know, I'm going to work on a new book about roles versus tasks for those of us who have that creative bent. But all that to say is, for some, it could be frustrating, you know, but we're going to encourage you today. I know that.
yeah. Remember one of the other things that we have these little sayings that we've kind of um, picked up along the line of all the Warrior Talk shows that we've done. But remember, know your role,
Yeah.
and remember how and learn how to roll in your role.
Hmm.
So that's another one that is just it's life changing for a lot of people. I've had feedback on that. I don't know if you have. Jantina in the Netherlands, she loves that. She made this really cute little little 3D card for me that says roll in your role. And it's true. So a lot of it has to do with organizational skills. And we have those. ADD people have those because
Mhm.
we are so particular in the way we want things and everything. And it's a lot, I think a lot of it has to do with control. What's your take on that?
Yeah, and you know when you learn the tools, you need to do that. We're known for starting a lot of things, but not always finishing or on time. Because our interests are pulled. You hear that old school that old joke, squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Or a
and
rabbit.
and when I talk to people with ADHD or ADD, they're all over the place. They're headed somewhere, but they're all over the place. And they say, "I'm sorry." I said, "Hey, it's all right. I've got it too. I'm on the roller coaster with you."
That's
Woo! All right, all right. But it is possible though, and that's why I wanted to write ADHD reset. If you look at the cover, you go to Amazon, reset your focus,
Yeah.
rewire your mind and reclaim your life. It really is a
Hmm.
gift, and there really
Hmm.
are some tools you can use. And I mean, I actually use the acronym of reset when it comes to that. I'm grateful that you wanted to touch on this, Heather. You and I we've been volunteering our time in this for years now because we want to help people. And but
Hmm.
we don't ask for money. If people want to go to htvministries.com and get a mug or a coin or one of the many great CDs with Heather, and also some books too. We need to publish some books too. I would say all of the Warrior Talks are formatted with a scope and sequence
Oh, for sure.
that are lessons and
Yep.
very easy workbooks. That's deliberate. Heather, you have that gifting. And here we are today with yet another tool. But if you think about the word reset, there's an exercise that you can learn about. There's actually a 30-day plan as well. But you can reset as you're going about your day. A lot of you, it's safe to say that your success is due to your gifting. You know,
Mm, absolutely.
the ability to think fast on your feet.
Hmm.
You're in good company. There's a lot of celebrities that were diagnosed with that too. Jim Carrey, we know that. Tatum, Emma Watson, Howie Mandel. He's a comedian. Ryan Gosling, Justin Timberlake, Adam Levine. The list goes on and on. Authors: Terry Bradshaw, Ty Pennington, who's also a TV personality too.
Hmm.
Richard Branson, the billionaire founder of the Virgin Group. List goes on and on. Michael Phelps, an athlete. Terry Bradshaw, NFL Hall of Famer. Thomas
Yeah.
Edison, Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, Winston Churchill. These are my favorite people.
Wow. Yeah.
Einstein. The device you're watching us on most definitely was created by somebody who had this type of gifting or label. And again, you're not broken. God made you brilliant. But there's something about those of us that when you get a like on your video or you get a ton of views on your video, you get a dopamine hit. When someone says, "Hey, that sounds really good," or maybe you're performing somewhere or speaking somewhere and people give you a standing ovation, that's a dopamine hit. There's a lot of things, and ADHD people, uh, we love those dopamine hits. Okay, we're not just us, everybody. People that do the doom scroll. That's a new word I learned. Doom scroll. Um,
Hmm.
when you're seeing something funny, or you're sharing memes, or you're passionate about something, or somebody likes your meme, they like your quote, you get a dopamine hit. It's little rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're not careful, you're only going to gravitate towards the things that give you a dopamine hit. So we've
Mm.
got a tool for you. Yeah.
I love that. So how did you how did you pull all this together, Brant? How is it working for you? I mean, how are you utilizing it?
Well, I've been pulling this together for a long, long time. For me, I told Christy, I said, I made a day timer for ADHD people. and she has ADD herself. She's brilliant, media designer and speaker and writer and all that. She said, "Well, is it a bunch of blank pages?" Because those of us with that, we have
Yeah.
bought tons of daytimers, and then we forget to use them.
Yeah.
We don't.
Hey,
Yeah,
sticky notes. Sticky notes are my best friend.
sticky notes, but then you forget to read them. You know, I do, and so I designed a daytimer based on what I have done for decades. I would
Cool.
write down all the stuff that I had to get done that day. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this is actually going to
Mm-hmm.
be a something you can get to, folks. But the way that I formatted it, the way I saw the world and saw things, picture, if you will, and this is a preview for all of you because this will be published too. But basically, you have today. You have today. Okay, those daytimers, they're so small. Each day they're so small you can't write everything down, and we tend to overload ourselves. We are capable of doing the work of a team of people, but
Right.
there's never enough space to write all the things we really need to get done that day, and we never get them all done. Well, and then we have to try to transcribe them to the next day, right? So what I started doing is, okay, here's all the things I got to get done today. And when you produce 5 TV shows a week and you have a lot of other things going on, you have a lot to do. And so I make a long list of what I needed to do. I sat down and I focused on that list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I went and I numbered in an area of importance what I had to absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
had to get done, like eat and dress. No, I'm joking. No, but you know, and so I had what I needed to do. I could see it and see the number of importance. And I noticed that I would get a dopamine hit. I didn't know that's what it was, but I'd feel good when I can mark done.
Oh yeah.
And then
Love it.
yeah. And then by the end of the day, I got the wins for the day. And so,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, um, if you think about it, even if you don't have ADHD, you like to reward yourself with things. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been on fast for 6 days. I want to have a banana split on the seventh day. I mean, there's little rewards. Well, everyone does that in one way or
Mm-hmm.
another, but
Yeah.
they might not think about it. And so there is a way to kind of formulate and function. If you have ADHD or ADD and you're not self-employed, then you have some challenges through the day. When everyone else is chilled and in their office for 8 hours straight, getting their work done, you get your work done too, but you find that your head swims a lot because you're creative. There's so much going on, and
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing too. The reason I tell the truth is two reasons. Number one, I should, and number two, I can't remember what I said yesterday. I can't. There's so many things going on that if,
Yeah.
if I just tell you the truth, then I don't have to remember anything. And
Yeah.
if you ask me next week, it's going to be the same answer because it's the truth. So
Amen.
but back to this. So I compiled a lot of this information through the years, and people that I admired, and Einstein, he had ADD, or some would say ADHD. He would forget to change his clothes. Sometimes he would forget to bathe. It is said that Einstein hardly slept, and he would hold his keys in a hand when he laid on his couch in his office, and he had a little frying pan. I don't know if this is true, but this is the story. And when he would fall asleep long enough and drop those keys, it'd wake him up, and he'd go back to work. Well, that's not
Wow.
me. That's not me. Elon Musk, billionaire, sleeping under his desk, never going home for a week or more because of his dedication, his focus. So here's a tool that everybody can use. You don't have to have ADD or ADHD to use the principles in this reset. And you might know someone who has it. Maybe you have a child who has it. Let me tell
Mm-hmm.
you, that term wasn't around until modern times.
Yeah.
It can be argued that little boys were never meant to sit straight and still all day like little girls because they're little boys. And I have 5 kids. If you have had boys, you're wanting them to be still and God's telling them to wiggle.
Yeah.
And little girls are sweet and they can do that. But boys, that's why,
Yeah.
a famous comedian said, they're boys are easier. You just feed them and dress them. Go chew on that tree, son. All right, go where, just, and little girls are different. And that's why they develop earlier. But here's something called reset, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
So let's say that you're working on a task at work or you're working on a task at home. And maybe you're doing something that you don't enjoy. When it comes time to pay bills, that's not the most enjoyable thing, right? Or when it comes, especially if you can't pay them, right? or if you,
Right.
but there are certain tasks that you just have to do. Maybe it's your taxes, maybe it's a report, maybe whatever it is, you're doing a task, and I'm going to give you a tool. This is called reset, right? Pretty original. That's why I named the book ADHD Reset. R is recognize. Say recognize.
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 Yeah.
Recognize. Recognize when your head is swimming. Recognize when there's so much going on.
Yeah.
It's not unusual to have my phone going, the computer going, the TV going all at the same time, and I'm doing just fine. And someone walks in the room and what are you doing? Uh, you know what I'm saying? So recognize when your head is swimming, when you're
Yeah.
having a hard time focusing. Maybe you need to shut some things off. Maybe you need to turn some lights off. Maybe you're
Yeah.
right. Maybe you need to be in a space or create a space for yourself where you can focus. But number one, recognize, wait a minute, my head is all over the place. It's swimming. So
Yeah.
put down the phone and don't doom scroll, but recognize that your head is swimming. Number two, exhale. Exhale.
Excel.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. Take a breather. Your brain needs oxygen. And
Amen.
yeah, so what you need to do, you can actually, in a way, reset your nervous system when you breathe deeply. So when you
Mm-hmm.
recognize your head is swimming, don't self-sabotage. Make a space that you can focus and get things done.
Yeah.
But you stop and okay, and you breathe.
Yeah.
All right. And isn't it wonderful? The name Yahweh, the unpronounceable name, I believe, is a breath. Yahweh,
Mm-hmm. In and then
right?
out. Yep.
In him we live and
Mm-hmm.
move and have our being. So recognize that your head is swimming. Exhale. Stop the world and breathe. Take a breather. Next is S. Shift. Shift.
Shift.
You need to shift your activity. That might mean
Mm-hmm.
putting your phone down, hooking it into the charger because it's always low on battery because you forget to charge it because you're so busy. Am I singing your song, folks? So
No, yeah.
shift, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that means getting up, getting a cup of coffee, right? And you're shifting your activity, you're resetting your focus, right? Whatever it is, it's very important that you get at least 15 minutes of sunlight in your eyes, too.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not the ADHD that's making you depressed; it's lack of sunlight, lack of
Go.
vitamin D. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Go hug a horse
go
or
hug
go
a
hug your
horse,
dog.
hug a tree. I'm joking. Well, because sunlight, what does it do? The vitamin D, it releases serotonin. It keeps you from being depressed.
Into your
So
eyes. Yeah.
you recognize your head is swimming. Exhale, breathe, shift in your activity. Get up, plug in your phone, right? Get a drink of water. Your body needs water, right?
Yep.
Maybe step
Mm-hmm.
outside, breathe a little bit, shift, get your cup of coffee, come back. Now it's time to engage. Engage.
Engage.
And that might be one winnable task. Remember what I talked about the wins of the day?
Yeah.
Engage. I'm going to choose one. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at 50 things I got to get done because I've overcommitted
Yeah.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I need number one, stop overcommitting. And then, but for right now, one winnable task so that I can feel that hit when I circle it, when I say done and I circle it. It's a win of the day, right?
Right.
And then T, track. Track
Track.
your micro wins visibly. Well, tracking may mean writing it down. Don't just check it off and write done, or check it off, write done and circle, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you check it off, write done, circle, and then in the column of my now
Your planner.
the right page of the planner is for doodling, by the way, but on the right column on the left page, you write down the wins of the day.
Yeah.
Now this sounds crazy, but
Oh.
if you listen to this again, or you get ADHD, I make easy to read books, and they're $5 on Kindle. I'm not doing it for money, obviously, folks. Okay.
Right,
But this
right.
will help you. But I would dare say that you would at the very least you would double your productivity if you teach yourself how to reset.
Hmm.
Because God's given you all this creativity. He's made you the way He's made you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139,
Amen.
your life has already been written. And you have a
Yes.
mission in this life. You weren't born just to pay bills until you die. So when you have to do something today, write it all down. Number the importance. Now that this isn't in the book, I'm giving this to you. It's in the next one, but write it in the number of importance. All right. Stephen Covey, eight habits of highly effective people. He stole that from my friend, a victorious Christian living, by the way. But it's
Well,
still good information though. And
yeah.
basically, he said there's urgent but not important, right? He said there's not important task, there's important task, and then there's urgent and important. Well, if you know that, then in the order of urgency and importance, number those tasks. All
Hmm.
right. And if your head begins to swim during any of them, then remember the reset, right?
Right, right.
Realize that your head is
Hmm.
swimming. Okay. And then exhale, breathe. Okay.
Breathe.
Oh, even
Hmm.
Jesus only had 24 hours at a time here on the earth, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shift, plug something in, get a drink of water,
Right.
engage. You got your coffee, choose one of those things and dedicate yourself to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe three priorities, and then track. That's the reset. Track the wins of the day. Don't just circle it. Don't just put done. Don't just check it. Do all three. That feels good. And then
Yeah.
what really feels good is wins. Today's wins. And then,
Mm.
you win. When I do that late night faith after dark, I do those every once in a while. Uh,
Yeah.
basically, it feels good to have wins. I always ask, did you do your best? Well, I did my
Hmm.
best because I wrote it down and I knew that I accomplished something that day. So it's little things like this. It's not walking in regret. It's not walking in shame. It's just knowing that God has made you this way.
Yeah.
He gives
And
us tools.
don't be so hard on yourself either, you know. A lot of times that is a setup for the feeling of failure is when you're so hard on yourself. And I listening to what you're saying and I'm like, okay, check. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. My function is got unction, because I'm rocking it. I really
Uh-huh.
am. And
Uh-huh.
but I've got a few years on you, Brent, and I've kind of learned how to sit
Uh-huh.
into some of that stuff. But here's the thing, and I think this is probably going to be true for most people, is the win.
Yeah,
We forget to recognize the wins.
exactly. The wins of the day.
About me, I just pour myself into bed, a tired little puppy.
Uh-huh.
Um, I sleep hard at least for the first few hours. And then my mind wakes me up again, but hey, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Right, right,
But
right.
and the other takeaway when you were talking was uh, expectations, overbooking yourself, over expecting to get things done.
Right.
And people pleasing is a really big
Oh,
problem
let me tell you about it.
for people like us
Mhm.
because if you have rituals in your life that are enabling you to function at your highest without having a meltdown, This is Heather speak. Um, and you've got this stuff going pretty well, and then somebody says, "Hey, I'm gonna come by and I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna drop this off, or hey, meet me down at so and so. I got," and all of a sudden it's derailed because you're a people pleaser, and you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll okay, give me 10 and you're out the door." And so I think sometimes we need to step back and go,
Uh,
can I meet you this evening instead at
yeah,
around
yeah,
6 or
yeah.
whatever, so that it doesn't throw you off. What do you say about that, Brant?
Well, that's part of the prioritizing, you know. I had to discontinue something I've done for years,
Yeah.
which is videography. I'm a good
Mhm.
videographer and travel all over and capture the essence of a moment. But I made a decision last week. I'm done. I'm no more videography. I'll have others do it in those regions. I'll still travel, but I'm shifting. And part of that is, writing these books I've been putting out lately. I've had so much joy and having widespread impact by equipping people
Yes.
that number one, in the videography world, you tend to sell yourself short, and I'm done doing that. And so I had to discontinue something I've been doing since I was a kid. I started doing some professional video when I was 16. So, that's a long time ago. And for 41 years. So all that to say is, it's okay. It's okay to discontinue and to prioritize. I've done good work, but I have to make some decisions. Also, I had to make relational decisions too.
Yep.
Creative people, we tend to please everybody, but we can't. And people tend to exploit that at times. In business, we tend to gravitate towards the C kind of client. They love us, they like us, but they're broke, and they don't have anything going on, so they waste all our time too. The B clients, they have the money, but they don't know us yet. The A clients, they have the money and they know us and they love us. And we forget that those exist because we want to please everybody. Well, there comes a time when you realize, especially those of us who have helped so many people and nobody helps us, they always forget. We have to stop the world and say, okay, I'm at a stage in my life. If I don't do some things for myself that I've done for others, I'm going to be in trouble when I'm no longer able to run around and do the things I did before. So that may be relational ADHD. That may be vocational ADHD. The principles are all the same. You got to stop the world, take a breather, and say, "Hey, okay, what's going on here?" Right? Shift what you're doing. Right? I just did the reset with a decision that involved my business, right? So this isn't just a daily thing for ADHD. This is also in your life. It'll benefit you in your life too.
Mm-hmm.
You need to
Mm-hmm.
reset every once in a while and reevaluate what you're doing and shift to what you really need to be doing in this season of your life. And then you will be able to enjoy and track the wins of the day. And so, hey, no shame, no blame. God gave you a gift. He gave you a role to play, and He's given us tools, to execute our mission in this life, because this life is your mission.
Mm. And that's our closing point that I thought of earlier too, Brent, is you remember who the great I am is.
Mhm.
Because ultimately without him, like you said, our our breath, and in him, what is it you say? Our I can't
In Him we live and move and have our being.
have our being,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, and
So
yeah, yeah.
always remember who the great I am is. It's not us.
Right, right, right.
So we have to depend upon him, and we have to get everything that he has provided for us from him, and in order to be all that he created us to be. So don't ever forget that, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Be around people that celebrate you, not tolerate you. You've been given a gift, and there's more than enough people who would love to exploit that, but there are people who recognize that that's a superpower, and
Yeah.
just be encouraged, just be encouraged, because God designed you that way. He wrote your days before you were born. There's some pretty funny illustrations. Mike Parham was talking about his boys, you know.
Yeah.
If you look at the comments there, and sometimes we have to learn to say no. You're right, Mark, Michael, and then Tom Callahan. Sometimes less is more. You are correct, Tom. There's a ton of
Mhm.
comments, and we're not always able to see them, uh, but
Yeah.
but we love you, and of course we hit our recording time already, but just be encouraged. We're here for each other, and you're not damaged. You're not. Why can't you just be normal? There is no normal. There's no normal. What's normal? Dead? Boring? What's normal?
Yeah.
You have people who may seem normal on the outside, but they're fighting a battle on the inside. Be you.
Mhm.
Be
Yeah.
you. Learn how to leverage that. Leverage those giftings and fulfill the mission God has for you. That's it. So
That's
anyway,
pretty simple.
yeah, pretty simple, but a good warrior talk, and thanks for talking about the book. I hope it'll help a lot of people.
Okay. One more time. ADHD
Hey,
reset.
you
It
did
really is cool.
more than the ebook. You got the print book. Ah, okay,
Yes,
good. Uh,
absolutely.
well, that's a good looking book too, isn't
It sure
it?
is. Yeah. Love the cover.
Yeah,
Yeah, pick it up, guys. Pick it up in
awesome.
whichever form you want it. And we love you. Everything that we do because God has instilled it in us. And we hope that we are of great help to you
Yeah,
one way or another, one day or another, because we really do love you. And we'll see you next time for another great Warrior Talk.
see you next time.